All right. So I promised you guys that I have a confession, and I do have a confession, and I want to share something, a little bit of a fear I had when producing stuff for the channel. So I'm going to give you guys all of that. Guys, please make sure that you stay for this whole video because it is going to prompt some changes to the channel. I'm going to let you guys know what those are. Before we get into it, you guys make sure that you go to the community tab after you leave here. Please take that poll. That poll asks you for feedback about what you think about the quality of the videos here, and you can also leave me a comment. Please be brutally honest when you answer that because it's really only going to help me get better, and it's also going to let me know what type of elements that I need to include in the content that we're creating. One of the things I want to do is I want to have much more conversational content that's a little less edited than some of the stuff that you guys have seen come out. And the upside to that for me is that it will allow me to produce more because it's not so heavily edited, which takes most of the time when producing a video. So if you guys say the content is good to excellent, and that's the majority of the comments that we get, then I know that the content is okay. And there are videos that I can do where I can really kind of just get in front of the camera, sit down, and get into it around a TV show or a movie or some topic that we're talking about. So let me know your feedback. Be brutally honest. It's all love. I can't ask that question to any other community but you because you are the most qualified to answer it. Can't ask it to my grandma or my mama or my wife because they don't really watch movies like I do, and they wouldn't know. But you know. So head over to that tab and answer that question, please, after we're done. So confession time. So here is my confession. It's really kind of simple, and that is that I really have not been consistently or authentically me through all of the content that I have produced on the channel. Now, for a lot of you guys, you're not even really going to notice the distinction because for some of the content, I have been authentically me. A lot of the ITV content, I've been authentically me. But during some of the movie reviews, I've not been authentically me. Here's what I mean when I say that. For a lot of the movie reviews and even some of the TV shows, I was being overly technical in how I talked about the movie. So when I say overly technical, talking about or spending a lot of time talking about the directing and the cinematography and the lighting and the acting and the performances and the first, second, and third acts and action set pieces and all that kind of good stuff. Not that I don't enjoy all that stuff. Actually, I think all that stuff is fascinating. I think it's super fascinating the way that a movie comes together. And I actually have a minor in production for TV and film, but that's not what I love about movies. That's not really the way I love to talk about movies. I much rather have a conversation or a discussional based format when we're talking about movies. That's the type of interchange we have, for example, when we're talking about shows like Into the Badlands. And that is what I have not been consistent throughout when talking about the different things on the channel. Like, I would love to talk that way about a lot of movie reviews, but I feel like I have to be more technical when I'm talking about it. And this is the fear part that I was talking about because that's what movie reviewers do. And when you look at a lot of the other channels, that's what they all do essentially that call themselves review channels or that primarily have channels that review films. They talk about those different technical elements of movie making, except for maybe a handful of them. So I figured, you know what, I got to do the same. Like, if I'm going to be legit, if people are going to take me seriously, I have to do the same as what the other folks are doing when it comes especially to movie reviews. But I don't, and I'm not going to do that anymore. Because the whole of what I want to do with you guys as we're building this out is really just to have a discussion, man. That's really it. Just to jump into our favorite shows, our favorite movies, and have a discussion about what we think about the predicament of the character, maybe what we would do, ask you guys some questions about what do you think about this or about that, maybe even ask you guys some questions about, like, how does this make you feel? What would you do if you're in this situation? Like, that type of discussion is really what I want to do. And here's why I love those type of discussions around movies, because I feel like the magic of movies or TV shows is really about transportation into a world that we don't normally experience. That's why they're great, man, right? That's why you watch a movie, because you want to be scared. If it's a horror or if it's a thriller, you want to feel the intensity of the thrill. Or if it's a romantic comedy, you want to feel that swelling of love around the characters. You want to be part of the story. That's why we watch it, because it allows us to enter their world, to step out of our own and enter their world and just kind of be part of something different that we enjoy. That is the magic, really, of a good movie or a good TV show. And it's those elements, discussing what's going on there, just having a discussion about the movies or TV shows is what I really love to do. Now, like I said, for a lot of you guys, you might be thinking, what's the distinction now? That's what I'm used to from you. And for a lot of the content, that is what we do. But I just got to be sure that I am being authentic to myself across all of the content. Now, finally, I want to end with this and say, that's not to say that we won't talk about technical aspects of certain shows. If they come into the conversation and they fit, then that's fine. Then we will. But only if they fit. Like, for example, this is my last thing I'll say. See, now you guys, I'm getting excited. For example, like when we talk about the world building of Into the Badlands, like that gets me super hyped because of the experience that the world building gives me to be able to step into something like that, that's fresh, that's new. We've never seen it before. We've never seen that type of dystopian future with the pops of color and the vibrance that we've seen with other shows that have dystopian futures. Like that kind of thing to me is like, wow, it's like amazing. So that's a technical aspect of Into the Badlands, but it does lend itself to being able to have conversations again about the story because the technical aspect makes me feel a certain way. So then I can talk about that. So that's what I mean. So we will have certain elements where it will enter in. I'm not trying to say it will never enter in. I'm not trying to say that I have no interest in it at all. All I'm saying is I just want to have a conversation, man. I just want to have a discussion with you about our favorite movies and TV shows. And I got to be true to that with how I produce for the channel. I think that that's just going to make me a lot happier. And I think it's going to be a lot better for us and the audience that does grow with us because they'll know that's exactly what we do here. It is not the typical movie review where we talk about, you know, the technical parts of movie makings, but we just want to have discussions around our favorite TV shows and our favorite movies, and that's it. And like, listen, if that's what you want, that's what we're doing here, and you're welcome to join us. So that is the big change that's going to be coming. Now, that will also prompt a channel name change because now it's not so appropriate to call it Dark Side Movie Reviews. So we will change that name completely. I have no idea what that change will be, but that change is coming. How am I doing on time? Oh, 7 minutes or something. If you're still here, you're a trooper. I appreciate it. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much. Please go over and take that poll. Give me your feedback. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for sticking with me to the end. All right, guys, I will see you on the next video. Peace.